After a historic comeback for the Denver Broncos, did that overshadow maybe some concern about Sean Payton and Bo Nix and this Broncos offense? We're going to dig into it here on 89. Steve, I have to tell you some numbers right off the bat. This
Give them to me.
by the Denver Broncos snapped a streak of 1,602 straight wins of teams up by 18 points with 6 minutes to go in a game. It's now 1,602 and 1 as I was at this game. An unbelievable comeback. I wanted to say this before we get into the current Broncos offense. They honored Demaryius Thomas at this game. Very emotional pregame.
That was dope, man.
Getting a chance to see that Super Bowl 50 team and all those guys. Talked to D. Ware for a long time. Talked to Gary Kubiak for a long time and Emmanuel Sanders and guys in middle. I just want your take on DT as a receiver. Talked to Peyton Manning a little bit about it. And that bubble screen that DT was incredible at, where he's kind of, if he caught it in stride and was going upfield, Peyton was like, that's his play. Like that was DT's play. Can you talk about him as just a receiver real quick before we get into this and what type of player DT was?
He was a hell of a player. His ability just to take a short pass and go long, his opportunities that presented itself wasn't obviously prior to Peyton. He didn't always have a great quarterback play. However, DT was always reliable. And that's what made him extremely special. He and I share the same coach at the time, and I feel honored that I can say that. He had a coach named Tyke Tolbert, and Tyke Tolbert came to Carolina late in my career and stayed a little bit of time, learned. He taught me a lot of great things, still good friends with Tyke Tolbert to this day. And he goes over to Denver Broncos and has the opportunity to coach him. And I used to get the opportunity to kind of like every wide receiver. Let me say this. Every player, if you have an opportunity to kind of find out what another player is like because maybe a friend or a coach or general manager, someone is over there, and a lot of times player will ask, hey man, how is DT? How is Emmanuel Sanders? How is this player? And man, Tyke always said, he would say this, he said, Steve, you will love to play with him. That he always said that, and that really resonated. And then you see the infectious smile that he always had when he was playing, especially and infectious when you're regarding football. Football, there's, you see guys smiling when they catch a pass or game-winning touchdown. Man, DT always had a smile on his face no matter the outcome, no matter what was going on. The unfortunate part, of him passing, man, it's sad. It's affected a lot of people because he was such a good friend, a loyal friend. And it just, it's tough, man. It's really tough. And when I saw that they were honoring him, I got emotional too because have a heartbeat, and this brotherhood. But let's go ahead and transition into talking about the Denver Broncos, because that very thing about the fans and how they look at things, I believe sometimes can fog your glasses, put on the rose-colored glasses that may not be exactly given the full picture. And here's the example. The Denver Broncos come back and score way too many points in a short amount of time. That's
33 in the fourth.
I see. Everybody likes to put a number on it. They scored too many points in a short amount of time when you talk about how they played in the first two damn quarters of the football game. No, I'm saying the first two because they were awful in the first two quarters. But I had to watch that game several times on why, and I say watch the game several times, is why they were so bad. And here's my conclusion on something that I noticed, and I want you to give me, James, a guy who lives in Colorado, who's covered that team, the ins and out of everything about it. You know where the bodies are buried. You know where
No.
Pandora's box has been opened and they're trying to lock it back shut. You know a lot of things about the Denver Broncos.
I do.
Here's the problem I have. I'm watching a football game. Do you see this problem right here? You have Bo Nix in the shotgun formation. And before this play, I saw other plays where they take the running back and they get him outside. Now you got Bo Nix sitting back, throwing the football as if his name is damn Johnny Unitas and he invented the passing game. I don't understand how you're going to allow a sophomore, second-year player, all of a sudden, you're going to put him in a position where you don't need to put more on his plate. You need to take a little bit off of it and get back to running the football. Because if you don't, I don't know what the schedule looks like, but I do know what the schedule looks like. And that's not going to win your football games. You can't give a 30 head start on some of the other teams that's later in November and December. And lastly, the thing that I'm noticing about the National Football right now is most teams break the season up in 4 quarters.
Yes.
And in those 4 quarters, I have my version of those 4 quarters. So in the 4 quarters, they go, hey, can we go, 2-2? We should go 4-0 in here, 3-1. Here's what the first quarter is. That's September. Man, September is sloppy. October is awkward. Awkward where you're up by 33 and you allow a team to come back and win. And then it kind of gets right or starts to even out in November. And then the actual team, who you are as a team, is what really reveals itself in December.
Yeah. Well, this group's going to need to go through that process, Steve. Specifically offensively. I think we know that they're fine on defense. Yep, this is a very good defense. And now they get Dre Greenlaw back. Well, kind of back, and now he's suspended, but he'll be back again. And so the defense is fine. We wanted to break down this offense and what's happening with Bo Nix. And I'm going to start with the Sean Payton side of things and then get to the Bo Nix side of things. Talk to some defensive coordinators, some defensive coaches that went against this team this season and kind of what they think.
Hey, before you start,
okay.
I'm in New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's why I look like I'm in a hotel or I'm looking
Witness
like
protection
I'm in,
program.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
What does it look like?
Like the witness protection program, or they should blur out your face and change your voice because you're about to tell everybody about something you're not supposed to. Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you about A9. He ain't no snitch now.
The first thing that stood out to me, Steve, is the defense coach said, "We've kind of figured out Sean, and he's going to need to adapt, and he hasn't adapted with the group he has just yet. Do they think he can and will? He has a track record, obviously." As a really good offensive mind in this league. But right now, with what he's working with, it's gotten a little bit of stale, a little bit of predictable. Talking to guys in that Giants locker room, they were calling out screens left and right. They were calling out things that they saw up front very quickly. There's a part of the marriage here that I find kind of fascinating between Sean Payton and Bo Nix. So,
please tell. Me and marriages don't go too well, so go ahead and tell me.
Well, it's about a 50-50 split in this country, so let's throw it out there.
Keep that in, John. I don't give a fuck.
You heard the man, John. Okay, here's the deal. What do we know about Sean's offense, Steve, which is a constant change of personnel, right?
Yeah.
Shuffling of personnel on and off the field a lot. And that's for 2 reasons if you talk to people. One, he does like to put his players in a position to do what they do best and take them away from the things that they are not as good at.
Which is smart.
Which is good coaching, which is
That's
smart.
Great. No. That's great coaching because there are a lot of coaches who have no idea how to utilize their players to their full capacity.
Yes. Or just, come on, man, I do it this way. You got to do it. Well, that's It's not what he does. And
Yeah.
so Sean's really good at that. But there's a flip side to it that some people believe is affecting the Broncos. Because when you're constantly changing personnel, Steve, what are you lacking for some players? And I talked to some Broncos about this. Consistency and rhythm, right?
Yes, consistency, rhythm. Some
Play
people
rhythm.
say floor to the game.
Yes.
A lot of players say data information. Hey, I need to, I was taught by Ricky Pro, shout out to Schlick Rick, Ricky Pro. When he first came to Carolina, I asked him, he was fresh off the Greatest Show on Turf. He played with Kurt, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Azakim, and remember Dan Looker. Ooh,
Whoa.
You know what I love? When I just pull out a name.
When the recall comes, when
just
it works.
The recall is ridiculous. But anyway, I digress. Breaking my arm, patting myself on the back. But is Ricky said to me, he said, Steve, you got to understand that the first play sets up the last play.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what? Now, like any smart football guy, you're going to shake your head, yes. Oh, got that. You're going to write it down and you're going to hear it. But just like anybody who has not had that journey, you have no idea what the hell he is talking about. It sounds good, but just didn't understand. And so what my silly self did is I waited a couple of weeks and then I followed back up. Was like, hey, you remember what you told me that? What do you mean? What do you mean by that play? And so that goes into what you're saying is, man, that first play generally or that first pass play in that first 15, you're going to get, especially the first series or two, you're going to get a tone setting, blitz, press, drop back coverage. You're going to have something in that football game that is going to tell you this is either going to be a long day or you better be thinking and playing at the same time, because this is where I talk about the mathematics of football, being able to calculate angles, understand who your opponent is with the information you have, but where to go and what not to do, which is paramount, especially in a game that we just saw.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So what's happened through this season a little bit, Steve, is the shuffling of these personnel groups, and we get why he does it, and it's to put defenses oftentimes in binds. But if I talk to some of these defense coaches, it's like
it's playing into their hands.
It's not really hurting us that much with this team the way you're doing it. But the part that stands out to me is who was supposed to be their joker. It was supposed to be Evan Ingram, right? That's what we were kind of told.
Yeah.
He was probably the complement to Courtland Sutton.
Yep.
I look at him as being a specific player when I kind of chat around the locker room is he's on the field, he's off the field.
Yeah.
He might be a rhythm player. He's on the field, he's off the field. This is a dude who has one of the most catches in a season for a tight end ever. And so he's used to being on the field and part of the offense. And it's been a slow go for him. And that's part of it. The other part that stands out to people is Bo's a tempo player. Like Bo he's kind of an athlete, right? He plays the position kind of like an athlete.
Let me tell you, I dislike that word.
Okay.
When you're talking about quarterback play.
You don't think any quarterback? I mean, come on.
No, because here's what you do. A quarterback is there they touch the football between the center and the quarterback. They touch the football every time.
Yes.
You hand the ball off, you throw the pass. I've heard that around the league, and it's usually used when a quarterback is inconsistent.
What, athlete?
In the conversation of athlete, when you say, oh, he's an athlete, he's a rhythm player, he's the quarterback. He touches the football every time.
True.
That's
but
like
every time the Broncos go up tempo, you see a different Bo next. And they have
so
admitted
you
it.
know what that means?
What?
Simplifying. That's not uptick, it's simplifying the offense, because now everybody's stationary stand. The defense is where it is. He doesn't have to make adjustments and do that. He just gets to see it, and he has to take a movement, and it speeds up his thinking. 2-minute is or up tempo always helps an athletic quarterback who's on rhythm, aka who's struggling.
I understand that this, and what I wanted to ask you is, and I think this is something that I don't have the answer for. It's up to Sean and Bo. How do you find that mix between the style that your quarterback plays in, and I'm going to get to more about Bo, but like, and the way Sean is used to doing it.
So can you explain to me then what is Bo? What is the consensus
on Bo
of Bo's playing style?
Okay, this is it.
Is that a good question, or is it like is that a trap question?
No, it totally is. They
Okay,
think he has, like Sean thinks he has really good feet. Thinks he plays well outside the pocket. When he rolls him out, he can throw well on the run. I think that's all true.
Absolutely.
That's all things they'd like to do. He used his legs more in the first year. I think they'd like him. And some people I talked to on the defense side ball said he'd be a bigger threat if he went back to using his legs a little bit more. You saw that late in the game. He was a threat with his legs. He had 2 rushing touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So that's a part of his game, the way that he plays it. But here's the interesting part. Like, there are people around the league that are like, Bo is taking a step back in year 2. And that's not uncommon. There's now a book on you. There's 20 games of tape on him now. There's tendencies. Defenses know. He's going to have to fight through that, I'm told. That's part of this, of what he has to do. They do think he has a bit of a Baker to him, Steve. I know you'll love to hear that. That, like, there is a fighter to him. There is an
hold on. This year's Baker?
This year's Baker, yeah.
Okay.
This year's Baker. A little bit of, like,
Baker's
you saw him do
now,
it against... Oh, look at this
Baker
play.
right
this
now
is lucky here, right? That's lucky right there, Steve.
Yes. Like, Baker right now is, he's in the MVP conversation, playing hell of a football. But
really
let's also, too, there are, like any player, there are tendencies about Baker or Bo Nix's game that you really sometimes you wish he didn't do.
Of course. So there is that part. You saw him show it against Philadelphia when he came back. You saw him show it in this game against the Giants when he comes back. He has a little bit of that to him in the fourth quarter of just kind of like a playmaker sometimes when the game's on the line. Some guys shrink in that moment. I don't think they think he does that. But here's kind of the problem. Sean schemes up, and this is from defensive-minded guys. These are defensive coaches that are going against him. Sean has schemed guys open, Steve. And that's always what he's been best at. Like, he has schemed players open, right? And there's been shots downfield where Sean has schemed them open. Bo just has not been a good deep ball thrower. Like, that has been an issue. And I had a defensive coordinator tell me, like, if they're not running the football well, and Sean does scheme some things up deep, but if they're not running the football well, we got no concern about Bo beating us deep.
Well, here's the other part that I noticed. Sean Payton does not. I don't know. He's gotten impatient as he's become older. But Sean used to. He would be committed to running the football no matter what. There were times where it became frustrating to Drew Brees watching it on the other side, where it's like, man, they can't get anything going. And then the running game it pops.
Yeah.
Right?
And they've had those stretches here.
And then all of a sudden, now it opens up everything else. Just watching the game, man, the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton, they got away from their game plan fast. Bro, fast. The first 2 possessions, they ran 5 plays, 6 plays, under 3 minutes. The first series was 3 plays, 22 seconds. 22 seconds.
Defense is getting gas,
there's a lot of things you could do in 23 seconds. It ain't score no damn touchdown. That is...
No one can. I mean, think what you're saying, Steve. The dude threw 50 passes in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, and so I think the part that is disjointed in a lot of Broncos fans, there's been shots downfield. He's probably missed 6 or 7 of them that are. He's
missed 6 or 7 of them throwing it.
Yes.
In my estimate, he's also missed about 10 where he just didn't see it.
That's another part of it. That's definitely another part of it. And the throwing part to me is, you're seeing the guy get open. I looked up the stats. Over 10 air yards, Steve. He's got a 37% completion rate. Like, that's not good. The group that is around Bo, the skill group around Bo.
Okay,
Because
let's break it down.
Asking other teams, it's been.
Let's break it down.
He could use some more talent around him.
Man, this is what I dislike.
Go ahead.
The
Dislike
most
it.
is when the quarterback's not playing great. All of a sudden, it's everybody else around him's issue.
I don't think that's the case. I'm telling you right now. I don't think
so either.
These same coaches have told me I'm not putting Bo Nix in an elite category. I'm not putting him in the top of the NFL type of category. There's some that were like, I think he's just okay that I talked to.
There's nothing wrong with being okay.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
Nope.
And my point is, if that's the player you are, for your offense to go to another level, it's a totality of the entire group that needs to be as talented as you can get them to be. There's only a select few in this league, Steve, that raise all tides, right? That doesn't matter who they play with, they will find ways to make them settle. It's a small group that can do that. Yeah. So I'm not passing the blame by any stretch. I'm just analyzing the offense as a whole, as its entirety, right? And so where do you see? I think we know what Cortland Sutton is. He's a good player. He's a 50-50 ball guy. He's a red zone guy. He's
reliable.
A touchdown machine. He's reliable. Yep. You know what he's going to bring you. I think the compliment to him, I was told, was going to be revolving. 1 week it might be Marvin Mims. Next week it might be Troy Franklin. Yep. I thought Devon Vele was going to be in that mix, but they ended up moving him to New Orleans. Surprise, surprise with Sean. What do you think about the group as a whole? We'll still see. I mentioned the part where Evan Ingram's still kind of finding his way. What do you think about the group as a whole? I was told by Sean that the weapon that he was adding for Bo was a run game. And Steve, as we talk about what's happening with the way this offense operates schematically, you're sitting there in witness protection program down there in New Orleans.
Yeah, bad place to be in witness protection. It's a lot of criminals down here. I can be in cahoots to get out of here.
Well, okay, I get it. We spent a lot of time in New Orleans together.
I know.
And so Sean was there for an eternity. He developed this scheme and this offense over time with Drew Brees there.
Yeah.
And he kind of does things his way. There's a lot of trees in this league about, like, this is kind of Sean's way.
Yeah.
This offense operates. And he's got a young mind in that building. And I know a lot of people there that think the world of Davis Webb.
I do.
I do too.
I think Davis Webb is remarkable.
Went right from playing right to coaching immediately.
Bro, he will do some really neat things when he finally gets his opportunity as a bona fide, not head coach, play caller.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Sean had him call a game. I'll throw this in there. Sean had him call a preseason game, an entire preseason game this year, and Jarrett Stidham lit it up in that game. And I think Stiddy's a pretty good quarterback mind, has been around a couple spots. And I talked to him after that game, and he was like, Davis Webb calls a hell of a game. Like, he called a hell of a game. Like, there are eyes in the league on Davis right now about what his future could be as a play caller.
Well, when I look at Davis Webb and you look at Sean Payton, and I find them, Davis will and has all intangibles to be just like Sean Payton, where it's an up and coming play caller who needs to be able to get his opportunity to display that he's a hell of a play caller, and then learn the ins and outs of being an offensive-minded coach where you have the responsibilities, you play call, but then delegating what all the other elements of the offense. And so that takes a little bit of time. And then going on to now implementing your own game plan and your own spin on the offense and on the team. And so I see Davis Webb as, when he gets his chance, I can see Davis Webb is a updated version of Sean Payton. And Sean hasn't updated his database yet. And it's affecting the Broncos in a way that people don't really recognize. No, their opponents do, But when you're in the midst of the football season, coaches don't realize they have to make adjustments or do things differently until the offseason when they have that time to take a step back, really look themselves in the mirror and say, and evaluate themselves and listen to people that they trust. And when listening to people they trust, that doesn't always mean what you hear you like and you agree. So it takes some time for you to process and go through it and have arguments and not talk for a little bit and then come back and apologize and say, hey, you were right. And I think that's going on with Davis Webb and Sean Payton. Is Sean is calling the plays, but I don't think he's leaning on his staff during the game as much as he should. I know he does during the preparation, but during the game is kind of where you need it. And I put Sean Payton in this category with Gruden, Norv, where their offense made them, but they never really adapted or changed. And it took a while until it was like at the end to realize, man, these great offensive-minded guys haven't updated their database yet. Yeah. And it's at the expense of everyone else. And by the time you figure it out, man, it's like 4 or 5 years and players getting discarded, traded, where it wasn't the players, the play caller. Looking at the roster right now, Cortland Sutton, ball player, right? We all know that. We know what he brings to the table. Pat Bryant from Illinois, really liked him. They liked him as well. Big body receiver. I think they're going to look at him as a guy that can kind of get into the rotation once he gets a little bit more familiar and understand how complicated Sean Payton's offense can be. And when you come from college into the NFL, that at times does slow down a player's progression, is thinking and not reacting. That's just part of the maturation process that every player goes through. Troy Franklin, I think they figured out how to utilize him. He's the speed guy, right? And he's learned a little bit, not completely, but he's learned a little bit how to kind of win when he gets hung up a little bit and can't fight through the press, because that's something that we talked about. That's something that we talked about. Yeah, he made that. It was a great play. The ball wasn't to him, but he still was in the area, right? Great job. And then Marvin Mims Jr. I liked Marvin. They liked Marvin. And then all of a sudden, Marvin is out of favor.
Where's Marvin?
Here's the thing that I believe
all of a sudden it was out of favor. I think I shot Marvin in the face.
Yeah. Here's what
Come on, man. Pulp Fiction.
Here's the thing that I believe that happens a lot of times with offensive coordinators or offensive gurus. They fall in love with a guy and they fall out of love with a guy extremely quickly, because they look at offensive-minded guys say, hey, when our offense isn't moving the football the way it's supposed to, it's that guy's the problem. If Marvin would have caught that pass on the first down back in the first quarter, we wouldn't have lost. You was getting beat by 33, bro. Right? Like, it's just I dislike when things aren't going well. The first people who get thrown under the bus is the player. Sometimes it's the play calling. Then you come to the conclusion it could be the play caller, not the play caller.
And then it could be, Steve, just is the play caller matching what this offense does, what this quarterback does. That's everything to this league.
Yes,
that's everything. And we're seeing one in Seattle right now where there might not be a better fit between the play caller and Clint Kubiak and the style of play the quarterback.
There's two. There's two going on right now.
Okay, hit me.
Seattle and the Colts.
Yes, Colts are the same thing.
Right.
They are simpatico between Shane Steichen and Daniel Jones. It's true.
That. Meg
I think
would
they're
be
still
so
trying
proud
to
of
find.
you.
I know she would be.
She would be so
really
proud.
Would be. She really. I mean,
the laces.
I know. Nix is taking lessons.
Hercules.
Here we go. But I think they're still. I'm not saying that can't happen in Denver. I think they're still figuring it out. I
They
think
are.
they're, because Sean knows this, knows that everybody knows the strengths of both. So what do you have to do? You got to go and grow, right? And learn some of the other parts that Sean wants you to do. So this is a work in progress of what they're trying to do.
Well, running the
as
football,
a
they
group.
need to get back to running the football. Be patient. Go ahead and bump your head against the brick wall, but you got to show teams that you're willing to stick with the running the football. They have not stayed with running the football. You get J.K. Dobbins, you come out there, you beat some teams you're not supposed to. You get close to beating some teams that you shouldn't be in the same ball game with, and yet you walk out almost seeming like you've learned nothing in that lesson through your journey. You're like, hey, man, that was good for last week, but we're going to do this same old bullshit that we was
100%.
doing before that got us beat.
The two teams we mentioned, Steve, consistently run the football. One of them's really good at it with Jonathan Taylor. The Seattle Seahawks aren't even that good at running the football, but they continue to
stay
do
with it
just because it's there. And that is what all these, to wrap this up, all these defensive coaches have told me was when they don't run the football, Sean can scheme a lot of this open, but if they're not running it well, we don't have to worry about some of it. And it hurts the way they operate.
Well, you talk about scheme and some of the things he was doing. You go back and look at the game, man. He had Marvin Mims in the backfield. And then he had another wide receiver. Then they're shifting, and then this guy is motioning over, and then they run a sweep. Mm-hmm. And you're doing all of this on your own 20, 15-yard line. Like, just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. You're searching a little bit when you're down there in the red zone. You're putting Garrett Bowles out in a pattern as the only receiver, and your left tackle is the go-to.
Look, he's a Utah guy, so you know he's
an athlete. Bowles, he's an athlete.
Hey, we do magical things, but that ain't gonna work, buddy.
He was open, by the way.
He was open, but unless it was a ding dong, Garrett Bowles wasn't catching it. Okay, I like me some Garrett Bowles. Yes,
a ding dong.
Hey, man, a Krispy Kreme.
Oh, okay.
You thought I was talking about a weenus? No, bro, I wasn't talking about that. That's nasty. I was just talking about like a Hostess cupcake.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, like Ding Dong, Zingers, Suzy Q.
I'm a tasty cake guy. I grew up in Philly. It's gonna be butterscotch crimpet.
Yeah, you look like you got it. You look like your palate stank. That was just off the bat, bang.
We've eaten together.
That's a confirmation.
We've shared some desserts.
Thank you. Hey, can we go? I like to clarify and make sure this stays in edit. Me and James have not eaten cake together. We have eaten food at a restaurant. Not a cake.
Not a cake.
I don't share cake.
No. A lot of individual desserts. Make it very official. Individual desserts. Remember that one.
Oh, man.
Now, since I talked to so many defensive coaches for this, Steve,
okay.
I had to ask him about the Riley Moss PI in the end zone that really made this game fourth and forever. Yeah. I think it's thrown into the end zone.
Riley Moss is getting exposed.
Riley Moss needs a brain like a goldfish because it just keeps you're gonna get when Pat Surtain, the best corner in the last 10 years,
they're going your way.
Other side, they're gonna come your way. Yeah. And so a DB coach I talked to that has gone against this Broncos team, so I was talking to him about this offense, but I asked him about this play, and he said, and I know you're gonna have the adverse comment to it, he said, this is getting ridiculous. He turns his head. He has established his spot on the field. Then when the ball is underthrown, he can't do anything other than be where he's at. How is that a flag on him? And the wide receiver opinion, Steve, is what?
Man, go back. That is a corner. First of all, he's
there.
He's not there. So rewind it. Go back to I'll break down exactly where he went wrong. Go back.
I'm not saying he played
from the beginning.
The play
so
perfect,
I can break down. Pause right there. So this right here is man coverage.
Yes.
Right? Moss is he's off coverage. What he does wrong off the bat, he opens up to he opens up too quickly. Go ahead and play
Okay.
it. Slow-mo. Right there. See how he's opening up?
I love how this is part of the PI. Go ahead.
He opens up.
Uh-huh.
And now, so they run the stop. You know how I always talk about landing gears with the DB?
I guess.
When the corner runs the stop or the comeback or hinge, whatever they have, Riley Moss is already opened up too early and is anticipating a deeper route. But he doesn't give him the deeper route, so now he has to put the landing gears down to get him back balanced under his shoulders. So he has to widen his shoulders by opening up his arms. Now it's a scramble drill, not his fault. But now what it becomes is it becomes a race in which the ball was underthrown.
Very much so.
That's what makes it the PI, is the ball is underthrown. Now, see, Riley is trying to catch up and losing. But because the ball is underthrown, Riley realizes it, possibly, but he is in a position at that time, as the referees would say, impeding the receiver from catching the ball. Because right now, as the ball's up, Riley is not winning slow-mo. He's grabbing. He's not trying to get that football.
So do you think the hand fighting prior to the ball getting there played a part in the PI? In them calling PI, I guess.
No. The PI is right there. Right here. Because it looks like Moss is maybe stumbling, loses his footing, so he's falling down.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't actually turn around. It's the same play, right, where with the Commanders. The Commanders, Marshawn Lattimore on George Pickens. Mm-hmm. And they call a PI. Ball is thrown, and Marshawn doesn't turn around. He tries to time up the throw when the ball comes and tries to hit it, and he does hit it out of the face, off the face mask, or hits it in George Pickens, and it's a penalty. It's understanding that these referees, if you don't turn and look for the ball, they are going to automatically assume.
You don't think Riley turned?
No, he stumbled.
Did he turn while falling? He turned while stumbling.
Yeah. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
I went to referee school. You forgot? Because here's the referee school I went to. You know who trained me? Nate Jones, the guy who was protecting JSN last night.
Oh, how about that?
Yes, and Nate Jones was my referee who taught me how to be an NFL official. So going there.
Selfless act, by the way.
What'd you say?
Selfless act right there. I'm going to put my body with no pads.
Yes. But Nate used to play DB
on an opposing bench. He played in the league. Yeah,
he played in the league, play safety, play corner, play special teams. So he understands. Hey, boxing him out. Get away.
It was,
Yeah. So is that a PI as a former wide receiver? Yes. As a former DB that wasn't very good in college, junior college and high school, yes, that's pass interference. It just is. The same way a PBU is awarded to a corner when the receiver drops the pass.
Less consequential, but yes.
It's on the stats. It's right?
Yeah. I mean, I get the stats part of it. Yeah. I don't think Riley Moss cares about the stats on that.
Listen, they're scoring on Riley Moss. It doesn't even matter. That little one it's no different.
Okay.
We talking about what's the difference? 3 eggs, 4 eggs. It's still eggs, bro. And it's a lot of them.
Oh, by the way, I was talking to somebody about you, and they said, I've met him once, and man, I loved playing. I loved the way he played.
Who's that?
And I know you'll love it because this dude was as physical as shit.
Who?
Steve Atwater.
He
Steve
knocked
was
the
like-
shit out of Christian Okoye, the Nigerian nightmare.
Steve could
I love
hit,
Steve. We
man.
met in the airport in Charlotte.
That's what he told me. He goes,
Bro,
I met
was
Steve.
salivating. I was like, Steve Atwater.
Yeah.
Steve Atwater.
Because Steve was like,
bro,
bro,
OJ
I've been
before
watching.
he killed somebody when he used to do those commercials. Right? He was right there. Steve Atwater.
Dude, he was like, I was watching some of the stuff, man. He's like, I want to tell you, I've only met Steve once in an airport. That's what he said to me. I only met Steve once in an airport. He's like, man, I love the way Steve played.
Man,
I love the way.
So Steve Atwater, shout out to Steve Atwater, shout out to Frank Smith, my grandpa. That was one of the guys when my grandpa used to talk about, if you want to play in this league, that's the kind of football players that are going to be trying to knock the shit out of you, so you better be prepared. Steve-on. That's what
Steve-on. Well, another Steve in the middle of the field was feared.
Oh, he was monster.
He was, dude.
He was monster.
That's an all-famer right there.
Yeah, he's dope, man, Steve Atwater. Hey, I love the old school dudes, man. I pay homage to them. Every time I get an opportunity to see them, I'm just like, this is why I want to play football.
This is the guy right here. Steve shoulder pads up to here, Atwater. Like,